All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another update on Bitcoin on the very explosive developments that are happening today. So, first off, I just want to make an announcement here. I have partnered with MEXC, and they did open a new campaign for me. So, new users that come in and sign up through my affiliate link here, if you deposit $100 of USDT, you'll get $20 free. Now that's really good. That's a 20% of your, if you 20% free there to trade with. And then depending, they do have other trading bonuses as well. You trade futures, you can earn up to $300 through that. My referral code, if you scan this QR code here, or the referral code is also in the links if you'd like to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go to Bitcoin here. So in yesterday's video, we were about this level here, which was the value area high of our smaller range. Let me zoom out here to the 4-hour chart. It was of this range here, this lower price action here. We were at the value area high, but I wanted to come up a little bit higher to see a touch of the actual 0.65 in the value area high. That was this range here. We had our CPI print this morning as well, right around this time. Actually, we came up to that level last night while I was sleeping. We did hit to that level, and you did see we did get a sort of rejection. Actually, I'll zoom in here onto the 1-hour chart. Just want to explain to you guys what was happening. So we came right up into the 0.65 and into the value area high. We hit right into it, and we saw a bit of a rejection overnight and until CPI release happened. And right about when CPI release happened, you can see the reaction we got here. Bullish CPI release. Core inflation was lower than expected. I do believe regular inflation met expectations. And we just got a massive bullish candle to the upside. We broke our first box of resistance. We continued up higher. We really just pushed up really aggressively, really volume filled. You can look at the money flow has just been coming in very strong all day long. Still do not have bearish divergences. We pushed up to our 786 and our value area high, which was our other box of resistance that I had talked about yesterday in the video as well. We did pump into it. We saw a bit of a rejection, and we just started a small time frame range within here. And right as we're speaking, we're kind of breaking up again. We just now did a swing failure pattern of the high of this high that was created earlier today. So we might see a push down from this. We'll have to check that out. We do not have any bear divs on the 1 hour, and money flow still looks very, very strong. So any pullback we see right now, I'm going to be looking for a higher low to long this. This does look very impulsive to me, and this looks very strong still. Bitcoin looks strong. If we zoom out onto the 4-hour chart, you can see now if we do get above this 102.8 high, if we come to our next box of resistance here, we get above this 102.8 high, come up to this resistance, and our momentum wave is making a lower momentum wave, we will be confirming a 4-hour bear dip from there. And so this area here, depending on how long it takes to get there, could be a major pullback area. So we're going to have to watch this develop as it happens. We're going to have to see if we have what kind of bear divs are going to form there. But right now, Bitcoin is pumping. It's looking strong. If we zoom out to our November 11th range, so this is the range all the way from November 11th to present day. Let me go ahead and extend these here real quick to get them to the price action. You can see that we are right pretty much at our value area high right now of this range, and we are trying to break it. Now we can see wicks above the value area high. Remember, it's an area of resistance. It's the area. So we are pushing above it. We did close a 4-hourly candle above it, which is bullish. But with this swing failure pattern we got here, if we do start to drop below it and close another 4-hour below it, it could have been a fake out, and we can see a correction. And I would just be looking locally for correction areas, maybe down to this POC. So what we could do is we could take a Fibonacci pull from the last high to the last low, and let's look at the golden pocket. Okay, so our golden pocket would actually be in alignment with our retest of the value area high of the smaller range. And that would actually be a really nice area to look for long if we pull back. So that's around 98K, 98.1, 98K here is looking like a nice area if we do drop to that, to see another push to the upside to 104 if we drop from where we're at now. All right, so let's zoom in here a little bit and let's dissect some of this. Now, with this explosive price action that we're getting since the 89K lows, I do think the ABC correction is done. I don't think we're going to come down to 87,340 anytime soon. We are getting really explosive, impulsive price action. Let's look at our volume today. You can see how high the volume is here. We're just getting a volume supported push up here. A lot of this, if we zoom out, go to our CVD here and our open interest, let's look at this here. So this entire push up, at the beginning of our push up, it was a little bit of a short squeeze, and we were seeing a bit of a short squeeze at the highs yesterday. So we were seeing a lot of people get stopped out while we were up here. But then you can see once the CPI reading came in, we saw a lot of fresh longs come in here, and they pushed the price up higher. Bitcoin's just looking bullish right now, looking like it wants to continue. We also are seeing quite, depending on what happens here, if we do see a pullback, we are possibly going to be forming some bullish CVD absorption, depending on how this looks once the pullback happens. So we're going to be watching for that as well. All right, so let me get rid of this here. So you can see that we broke our first box of resistance that I had on the chart yesterday, which was the value area high of this smaller range right here around 98K. It was also a golden pocket pull. This golden pocket pull from the 102.8K highs down to the 89K lows. We broke that golden pocket. We came up to our next resistance box. We are seeing some resistance here. We did see some wicks past it as well. It'd be actually interesting. So we do have our 886 that's just above us. And also at that 886, I do believe we have a naked daily POC, but I might be mistaking that. I think that's actually at 104. All right. What we have today is it was just created, so we're not going to pay attention to this one right here. But our next major naked daily point of control is up in this area here. That is also the macro 786 from the all-time high to the 89K lows. So this area here is a really big area to be watching. Let's zoom out onto the daily and let's take a look at the daily here. Let me turn off the volume. Now, one thing that we did see here, you guys, is we did confirm bullish divs at the lows here on the daily time frame. You can see lower lows on the price action from these two lows, higher lows on the indicator, the momentum waves. So we confirmed the bullish divergence into a major support level. Remember, I was talking about that 382, that macro 382 being a major support level, and we did get the explosive price action to the upwards. This candle here on the daily was a really strong looking candle, like a shooting star candle. You can see here we've got a long wick to the downside, so there was a lot of buy pressure on this day here. And we continued the push up here with the bullish CPI print that gave people the go ahead to get bullish on risk assets again on the market. And our money flow as well is starting to come up now on the daily time frame. So we can expect this, even if we see a pullback, we could be looking for a lower high to expect this to continue to our next major resistance. Though the swing failure pattern up at these highs is still going to be a level to be watching for. Swing failure patterns, liquidity grabs always are really important in the markets. So we'll continue to watch for that. Let me clean up this chart a bit here. Okay, now we do have a new daily level. It's not new, it was actually from yesterday, here at 94.5. So we'll mark out our new daily here. And then we do have the daily up here as well. But I think that's probably a weekly as well. Let's go to the weekly chart. No, okay. That's not a new weekly. We have the weekly here. And then this daily, if this candle closes green this week, then we will turn this into a weekly level here. But we'll wait for that. We can see right away while we're on the weekly chart, we can see this money flow is starting to curve to the upside on the weekly, and our momentum wave starting to look like it's going to bottom out. One thing we might see here, you guys, on the weekly, we could see a third drive of bearish divergence. So if we make a new all-time high in the next couple weeks here, our momentum wave comes up and does something like this and then creates a lower high on the momentum waves, but we pump up, take 108K, make a new all-time high, we would see triple drives of bear div on the weekly. And then our monthly bear divs still do look like they could confirm. If we close this month red, we might confirm a monthly bear div. So we still need to watch out for higher time frame signals, warning signals that are showing it to us. But we're not there yet. We've still got a lot of time. You know, this could take weeks to create this momentum wave. So we'll see how that plays out over the next few weeks here. But we're just going to keep it in the back of our minds as this is happening. All right, so let me turn off this indicator here. So we are technically at a higher time frame resistance, but if we zoom in, let's zoom in here onto like the 15-minute chart, and let's take a look at this. So our value area high now, you hide that. I have that marked out. Our value area high is marked out here. And now that we're pumping above it, we're going to try to hold it as a support to continue higher. There is a possibility, especially with this swing failure pattern that just happened, that we do dump back into the value area here, and we do make a larger correction to the downside to create a higher low and then continue up higher. But right now it is still acting strong. It's still holding. All day today, we've kind of been trading in this ascending channel. So I showed this earlier on the charts. Not that one. Okay, I will talk about this one because we are at the top of a channel right now. Actually, I'll go into this right now. So if we go, let's zoom out here. Let's zoom out onto the 6-hour chart here. And this is a very important descending channel that's on the chart. And this channel is pretty much the high, the all-time high here, down to the next lower high at 102.8 that we saw here. And we're going to bring it down to our first major low down here. You can see this channel's been pretty well respected. And this trend line here, if we break out of this trend line, we can see a push up pretty aggressively, at least to 104, but we might even break all-time highs with this push up of this descending channel here. You could also see it as a wedge type structure. So you could, do something like this, a wedge here that we were seeing, with this being the top of the wedge, this being the bottom of the wedge, where we might be breaking out of a wedge here. But we are at that resistance now. So let's zoom back into that. Let's zoom back into the 12-minute chart. You can see that pink line that we're at right now. So we are at a confluence of resistance where we are at right now. If we do see a pullback, I wouldn't be surprised. But let's go ahead and let's dive into this real quick. Money flow, 12-minute, really strong looking. No bear divs here. Let's zoom into the hourly chart. No bear divs on the hourly. Money flow looks really aggressively strong. Let's zoom into the 4-hour chart here. 4-hour chart, no bear divs. If we do take this high at 102.8, then we will possibly confirm some bear divs. Money flow was decreasing for a while, and now it's starting to come up into the green again here. You can see it's coming up into the green. So money flow is starting to look better on the 4-hour. Higher time frames take a little while to get kicking. So money flow is looking good on multiple time frames, looking very strong on multiple time frames. No bear divs yet. If we were to expect this to really hold, we probably want to be seeing 1 hour, 15-minute, 30-minute bear divs. We do not see any of those bear divs right now. So what we can expect is maybe this value area high is going to hold as a support very locally on like a 12-minute chart here. Hold it as support, which looks like right now we pumped up above. We had the swing failure pattern, came back to back test the value area high as support now. So far it is holding, and we are starting to pump. Let me get rid of this here. All right, so let's zoom out here now again. Let's go on to the daily chart, and let's do some analysis here. We can do a Fibonacci pull from our all-time high to our lows that we created at 80K or 89K, and let's go to the golden pocket. All right, this is a bit of a signal to watch too, because we do have our golden pocket that is coming up. Actually, we have not hit the golden pocket yet, but the golden pocket and the 886 of the smaller, so this 886 pulls from this high to the 89K lows. That is going to be an area to be watching for a resistance to see a pullback from. Uh, it should take a couple hours to get up there depending on how this goes. So we want to be looking for low time frame divs, bear divs on like 15-minute. We also want to see money flow topping out. Now we have been in this channel for most of the day here. And so if I do an ascending channel, a parallel channel, it is this channel here. And this, I pulled this channel before the CPI print pulled out this morning, very early this morning. So we were pulling back from this high from last night, and I took it from the low that we created. We pumped up. Actually, this was the high that we created last night here. So I took it from the low, this low, to this low here, which let me adjust this just a bit to right here. And then I took it initially, I had it at this high here earlier this morning. But when we broke out of that and we were starting to back test it, I moved it up to this high here. So we've kind of been trading in this ascending channel type structure here. You can see that the midline of the channel is aligning with the VWAP close. And during Jason's live stream, I was talking about this being kind of an area to look for a pullback to. That 98.5 to about 98.2 here is where we want to be looking. Right now, we are continuing to pump. It's a high probability that we do pump up to this area here, this next box of resistance that we're seeing above us, which is the macro golden pocket and the 886 level. For now, I'm going to go ahead and hide this purple box here. So Bitcoin is looking strong, you guys. We have really strong momentum right now. Volume is supporting this push to the upside. We do not have bear divs yet, and money flow looks very strong. And money flow oftentimes will overpower bear divs anyways, low time frame bear divs. If you're seeing low time frame bear divs, but your money flow is starting to go parabolic like this, then usually it takes multiple drives of bear divs and the money flow to start topping out before that signal actually confirms and sees a push to the downside. So our next major levels to look for, we have the local golden pocket coming, or the macro golden pocket, our 886. That's our local resistance level. If we do start to top out here and see low time frame market structure change, I am not going to be entering any shorts until I see market structure change on lower time frames. And what I mean by that is, say we are making, even on the 15-minute chart, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We are in a bullish trend here. So what we want to see is when we come into this box of resistance, higher high, and then we want to break to a lower low. So we would want to break like these lows down here, break to a lower low, and in that case, we might be switching to a bearish market structure. We would wait for a bounce, and we would look at the golden pocket 786 area to find a local resistance area, and we could take the short from there, and we put our stop above this high here. So that's kind of what we'd be looking for on low time frames. If this is going to play out, if this box of resistance is going to play out, we'd be looking. So let's just do this from here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We might be seeing the higher low right now with the bounce at the value area high. If we come into this area here, now we have a higher high. I would want to see us break this value area high and break this market structure right here. And then in that case, if we break that, we could be looking for the retrace. So you would take your golden pocket, you would go from high to the low, wherever that low ends up, and you would be looking for this area between the golden pocket and the 786 for the short. And in that case, we would also look at our CVD to see if we're seeing bearish absorption on the CVD indicator. We would look for low time frame bear divs, and we would look for money flow to be kind of topping out and going to the downside on some of these lower time frames. So for this instance, because it's so close, we'd probably be looking 12-minute and under money flow to be topping out and starting to come to the downside. All right, let's zoom back out again, and let's keep taking a look at this here. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this golden pocket real quick. I'm going to hide this 886. And I'm going to hide this channel. Now, our next major area here is this 104 area. We do have the 786 and our naked daily point of control here. And I showed you guys that naked daily point of control just a few minutes ago here. So the naked daily point of control is riding up here. It's also our 786 from the all-time highs at 108 down to 89K. Major area to be looking. Even if we do see a pullback from here, say we continue in this impulsive price action all the way up to this 108 or 104 area, I would be looking then for a higher low to come in to continue higher and maybe take the all-time highs. If we do zoom in on this, really there's not a lot of structure in this move here. This is a pretty straight up move, even on the 4-hour chart here. It's a pretty straight up move here. So this could be the start of a much bigger impulse after we had our correction to the downside. So after you see a big impulse like we saw all through here, you see your correction to the downside, your correction finishes, and then you can start an impulse to the upside again. So let's say that the golden pocket that we're about to see at like 101 is going to give us a little break to the downside. We'd be looking for a higher low to come in. Then we could see a push up. Now, your third wave is your most explosive, so we might even go all the way to the all-time high. Then you would see 3, 4. Okay, what happened here? You'd want to see the 5-wave impulse to the upside. And this could just be the start of a big wave 1 impulse to the upside. Let's go back to the daily chart here. There's not much resistance above us, you guys. We have the daily and the SFP that's here at the 102. Let's actually look at the exact level here. 102.735. So we have the swing failure pattern there. Let's look at our monthly pivots here. So, okay, yeah. So our next major area of resistance is this 104 area. We have our monthly pivot point there, our first resistance monthly pivot point. We have our naked daily point of control there and the 786 there. So I would be looking for a push up to there. We could do something like even continue on this push up into the daily and SFP the high and then come down to make the lower high and then continue here. But right now, Bitcoin is looking bullish. We can speculate. Let's just speculate right now that the top is in. Actually, let's check this out. Okay, we do have some fair value gaps below us. Let's speculate that that low time frame SFP that we just saw now on the 15-minute chart is going to be a high, and we're going to see pullback. We just got the SFP here. If we do not hold the value area high and we come back and we dump back within this value area here, we can start looking at local supports to look for levels to long, looking for pullbacks to long. So the first thing we could do is we'll do our Fibonacci pull from the high, from the low to the high here. Let's see what kind of confluence we have here. Let me come down here and let's turn on our big range. And let's turn on the small range. Okay, so right away I can see the daily, our new daily is aligning with our point of control of the smaller range here. That's going to be an area to be watching for a local support area. In this area here. Now our golden pocket is close to our value area low. I don't like how it's this far above it here. Let's see. Actually, let me back that up. Okay, oftentimes in corrections, you go to the 0.5. So one thing I see right now is this low here. We could SFP this low into the 0.5. After an impulsive wave, your correction can go from the 382 to the 0.5. So an SFP of these lows from yesterday would be really nice into the 0.5, and then we could continue in our wave 3 up to 104K. Something like this. All the way up here. Now, structure-wise, I don't know if our 3 wave would be bigger than our 1 wave, though. So we would have to look at that. That's a 13% move. And then say we do 0.5 up to here. No, it's not. Okay. I don't like that. I don't like how that uh, confluence is not there for that. Golden pocket here. Let's turn back on our daily points of control here, and let's look to see what's below us here. Okay, so we do have that one down here, a new naked daily point of control at 92K. That is going to be in alignment with our 786 there. So that is going to be definitely an area to be watching for a resistance or a support level if we do come down here. Just like right now at 104K, we're looking for a 786 and a naked daily point of control as a resistance. This is going to be our support resistance. So there we go there. All right, we do actually have a naked daily point of control here at this 1017 level here. And then we have the one just from the candle that closed just a few minutes ago here at 99.2. Okay, so let's mark these out here. Naked daily point of control. And then we got one here as well. Now let's turn this off. Looks like we are starting to dump back into the value area high, you guys. So that swing failure pattern could have been a local top for today. And we might see a small retrace from here. We do still have this important anchored VWAP from the all-time high that's down here at about 97K. And that's something that we want to watch for. So let's look at if we can find any confluence for that. If we do this here, let's bring it to the 382. Okay, our 382 is close to that anchored VWAP there. And also we do have some prior lows here right before. So these were the lows we made right before the CPI print, and it was an explosive push to the upside. So if we do come back down over the next couple days down to this area here, take the liquidity of all the people that long today, and then we could see another move to the upside. This is an area that I would be interested in looking for local longs if we see the right confirmations to come in. Swing failure pattern of those lows into the 382, and we also do have the anchored VWAP that's just above that, so we might see some wicks like we were seeing in this area here. Or like in this area here, we saw some wicks above it. So that is a local area to be watching as well. Okay, let's zoom back out here again. Actually, let me check one more thing here. So we do have a monthly pivot point just above us here too. Let's check this out real quick. I know this chart looks really messy right now. Just bear with me, guys. So let's do a Fibonacci pull from the low this morning, the low that was made this morning to the high that we have now. And let's look at our JC pocket here. Just our most very local support that we have here. We have our local golden pocket aligning with that value area high of the smaller range that we broke out of pretty much just today. We broke out of that today because around CPI print this morning, we were around that range. And actually, the that value area high was a little bit lower before today. You can see that it pushed up a little bit on that volume push that we had. So if I bring it to just right before today's price action, you can see that value area high is in alignment, and this is of the area that we want to be measuring. So we have that value area high in alignment with the pivot point, the monthly pivot point. So monthly pivot points are pretty strong. And then our golden pocket 786 area is close by as well. It's also our prior highs that we had. You can see our prior highs in here. And it is a support resistance flip level. You can see how it was acting as support here. It was acting as resistance earlier until we broke it to the upside. All right. So that is a level to watch for a smaller pullback here. Let's do that. Let's go here. Now, this is more local if we want to kind of continue this trend. So our point of control is also close by there. You can see that the point of control, after we broke it to the upside, we came back down, held the point of control, and then we had another explosive move up. Or which one did I? All right. So let's turn these off here. And then the naked daily point of control that's just a bit above us at 101,768. Let's go to our big Fibonacci pull here. So let's see. All right, let me just zoom out here and we'll make that again. So we're going to go from the 108.4K area down to our lows that we made a few days ago. All right, I do like this. The top of our golden pocket is right around that naked daily point of control up there. So this area, let me zoom in on this. This area here, and remember our 886 was in that area as well. I think the 886 was in between those. So this area here is going to be an area where we're going to be looking for a resistance if we do pump just a little bit more. Let's do the 886 here. Gosh, I know how messy this looks. It's probably indistinguishable. Can't read it. So many levels are on it. There we go. I like that. Now the 618 is a little bit lower than us, and we could, because we did front run that 618 so close, I don't think I would rather look at this 6.5 here into the naked daily, and we could even include the 886 into that. So that's why my box doesn't go down to the 618. So that's an area to be watching for a local resistance. 104 is the strong level, you guys, and then the SFPs. Liquidity grabs are always good levels to watch. But the liquidity grab, if you do not trade a liquidity grab unless you see that wick above to stop people out, and then you see a close of the body of the candle at or below the swing failure level pattern. So those swing failure patterns, you can't. It's dangerous to put a limit there at a swing failure pattern, because if we just pump straight through it, straight up to 108, 104. You're going to get wrecked there. You have to watch for confirmation. Really, swing failure patterns, you have to kind of be watching, and you have to market enter once you lose that level, once you start to lose that level. So just if you're going to trade that, be careful. That's what I'm trying to say there. All right. I'm trying. Okay, let me actually go back to the other chart here, and we're going to look at this pitchfork, because you can see the 886 of this pitchfork is coming in right at the top. So that first box, that box of resistance I just drew, we have the 886 coming in at the top of this pitchfork. You guys, these pitchforks work so great. Like when we hit the bottom of this bear's pitchfork, we saw the move we got. You can see it's been respected in the past here. Now we were trying to find some resistance on low time frames in here earlier today, but really we just pumped straight through it. Later today, I can show you guys XRP and show you guys how well XRP is respecting the pitchfork that I just made for it today. Because XRP is pumping like crazy. But you can see, like, this pitchfork the band was holding all through here. We came up to the midline, rejected, came up to the midline again, rejected, and that's when we started dump to the bottom. Now we're coming up to the top here. So we can expect some resistance within that box. So it's this box here, the 886, the golden pocket, and the naked daily point of control. This is a box of resistance I'd definitely be paying attention to. If we do break this bearish pitchfork bullishly, like if we break it to the upside bullishly, then we might see follow through all the way to 104K. 104K is looking like a really important level right now. It's looking like we might push up there. Even if we see a pullback, we're going to be looking for a higher low, and then a push up to 104K. And then whatever happens at 104K, we might just see another small pullback to there, and then new all-time highs. But yeah, let's go actually check the volume here. All right, so this push down is on lower volume right now. Let's go to the 12-minute chart. We're starting to get some volume picking. Very locally here, I do see a sort of ascending channel that we're in. Ascending channels do have a higher probability to break to the downside. So if we do this here, it looks like we're breaking it now, actually. You can see midline's been respected here. We had the swing failure pattern, you guys. Liquidity grabs, even intraday liquidity grabs are always nice to see. We're seeing pushes up in this channel. At the same time, our volume was decreasing the entire channel. Anytime you see this chopping price action here in a rising channel and your volume is decreasing, if you do hit a certain level, like a swing failure pattern level or a macro golden pocket, you can't expect to move down from that. All right. Let's zoom back out onto the 2-hour chart. Let me get rid of this channel. And let's do one more Fibonacci pull, but we're going to do it from the lows that were right before CPI print today, all the way up to the highs here. Or actually, these weren't before CPI print. This was CPI print here. But we're going to do it from the last low, like pretty big 2-hour low here before all this explosive price action here. And let's do the golden pocket. Yeah, okay, so not only do we have the 786 of our smaller golden pocket, but we have the bigger golden pocket, and that's right where this anchored VWAP is going to probably be pushing up to as well. Let's see here. Let me go to this box. I actually like just the 786 here. I like this better. This here. Yeah, 90. This general area is going to be an area to be looking for because our prior highs are around this area here. We have that golden pocket from this pull to this pull here. And then just below is that 382 here. This is the bigger 382 retrace and the swing failure pattern of these lows here, which these lows are important because they were the last liquidity that was the last longs that got in before this CPI impulse to the upside, CPI print impulse. So these lows, if we do swing fail pattern, these lows, these are actually key lows. There's probably a lot of longs that have longed through all of this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do drop to take this out here. So I'm going to leave this box here, even though it's pretty close to this box. And let's just extend these a little bit. There. Okay, I'm going to go to my other chart here real quick. All right, our smaller range here. We can see our smaller range that we're in here. We do have the back test of the value area high is at the back of the bottom of this pitchfork band. 98K. So it's the same area as This area here, this box here. Actually, it's a little higher. Yeah, about the same area here. So 98K to like 97.5 is definitely an area you're going to be watching for a local support level if we do start to pull back from where we're at now. But our bigger level here would be our, and let me actually pull this. Let's look at the entire range here of this here. All right. So we do, I gotta take off in just a second, you guys. Our value area low is down at the bottom of the band here at 92K, 92K-ish. And that is also where our naked daily point of control is, down in this area. So I don't think we're going to pull back this far, but who knows? We could. So we need to keep it on the charts. We need to keep an eye out as a support level. And then if we do our, yeah, we have our 786 there as well. So that box, this general area from 92K, because remember our naked daily point of control was right under 92K. So this is definitely a major support level to be watching here. And then if we look at our 0.5, which is often a correction target, it's at the midline. All right, 95K. So 98K, we're seeing some confluence. 98 to 97.5 is our first support level. Then our next major support level is going to be 95K, which is our pitchfork midline, and our 0.5, which is often a correction target on a correction to the downside after an impulse. And then our third major support level is going to be about 92K to 90. Well, that's a huge level. 92K to 91.2, really. So those are our supports and resistances to be watching. 104K, I really, we need to pay attention to 104K. There's multiple confluences there. And let's look at our pivot points again. We also do have that pivot point that's just below there. But yeah, you can see that naked daily point of control is in that purple box there. This is the real good one here, 104. We already checked, there was no naked weekly points of control. We checked that in yesterday's video. All right, so we're just going to kind of watch, you guys. We're going to watch to see if this value area high holds and we get up, push up a little bit higher into the golden pocket in the 886. Now, the value area high on Bybit's chart is a little bit lower than Coinbase's chart. Coinbase is at like 100.2, and Bybit looks like it's at where we're at now, like 99.8, 99.750. But you can also see our POC is a bit higher on this chart as well. So that POC, if we do that golden pocket pull from the 2-hour low to the high, and we check our golden pocket here. So our golden pocket pull's there. So this box that I had on this chart of the golden pocket pull, this box right here, is our POC on Bybit there. And it's the golden pocket. It's also our anchored VWAP there. So this area is definitely an area to watch as well. Now, if it takes some time, it would actually be really nice if it took some time and we did see it align with the pitchfork, but that would be after an impulse, you might see a very slow range that kind of gets created to here and then something like that. And that would make sense as far as time-wise goes as well, because we're probably not going to push straight down, although we did come up pretty fast, so we could push down pretty fast. All right, one quick thing here. Let's look at liquidity. So we did take a majority of the liquidity out that was above us. We had that liquidity that was resting up there from yesterday. We created a lot of liquidity the last 2 days above the high, about that 101K. And then we do have a lot of liquidity now resting around that 95K area, that other box of support that I had here, 95K, the pitchfork midline, and the 0.5. So if we come into this, take the liquidity of all these longs from today, and then we can make a move up, that is something to be watching for. Let's zoom out real quick here onto our Model 3. Okay, and yeah, so 95K, and then We still got a lot of liquidity down here. 92K is our other liquidity. So 92K was our other major support level, and we do have some liquidity resting above that. So if we come down to 92K, it will take out all this. But you can see some liquidity building up above the highs here, right into our golden pocket and our 886, and then that 104. So this would be above that. This is really, at this point, we'd be coming for the all-time high. Yeah, so that's kind of Bitcoin for today. Ethereum, once again, you guys, these pitchforks work so great. We dropped right into the bottom of the pitchfork. We saw a huge pump up. Right now, we're hitting our first box of resistance. We're still in that. Remember, that was our golden pocket. It was the swing failure pattern of the top of kind of this channelish structure that we saw, the liquidity from this structure. And then it's our pitchfork band as well, our bigger pitchfork band. So we are seeing a reaction from our purple box that I talked about yesterday. Our next purple box, if we do come down to this POC, remember our prior highs were here all through here. So these are our prior highs. Now they're going to be flipped to support. So if we come down to our POC and our prior highs, we flip that to support, then we can make a move up to this purple box here, which is our naked daily point of control, our 786 in the top of our band, and our value area high of the range. So this area up here around 36.25 is going to be a really big resistance level to look for as well on Ethereum. Our local support is now 33.37. And then if we do a Fibonacci pull from the lows to the highs, well, our 786 is going to be at our value area low down here around 3,000. If we do come down there, that's definitely a buy level because we do have an anchored VWAP there as well. But the 0.5 correction target is near these lows here. So that's a nice area to look for, 3,200-ish, 3,190. We have all these lows here that we could take this liquidity into the 0.5 and then make a move up. All right, you guys, I'm going to do another video later today. I just got to go pick someone up real quick, and I'll be back. Much love.